Welcome to the Bear in Global channel. After the Southern Front, a great victory operation began on the Eastern Front as well. Russian army also lost a record number of soldiers today. If Russia loses troops in this way, the Eastern Front may soon fall under Ukrainian control. Very important news continues to come from the Luhansk front. The Luhansk region began to be gradually cleared, like Kherson. The fact that Kherson came under the control of Ukrainian army greatly increased the motivation of Ukrainian soldiers. Kiev announced its new goals and fronts. United States War Research Institute said that the Ukrainian army could soon advance into the Crimea. Russia wants to solve the ammunition and weapons problem by cooperating with the surrounding countries. Iran's sending aid to Russia greatly increased tensions in the region. In addition, the active operation of Iran's nuclear power plants has caused great problems in the region. Israeli warplanes have completed their war preparations. Ukraine-Russia war caused neighboring countries to enter the war. In this process, shipments continue between Belarus and Russia. The tension is pretty high. General Staff of Ukrainian Armed Forces announced that Russian army suffered a record number of casualties in the morning. According to the statements made, 650 soldiers, 2 tanks, 10 artillery systems, 1 air defense system, 1 unmanned aerial vehicle, 16 fuel tankers, and 16 Russian armored vehicles were destroyed. The Russians suffered the greatest losses in the Luhansk region. Breaking news from the Luhansk region continues to come. Ukrainian army regained control of the village of Makiivka in the Svatov district of Luhansk Oblast. Russian news source Verska reported that a Russian battalion mobilized near the village of Makiivka in the Svatov district of Luhansk Oblast was destroyed as a result of the attack of Ukrainian armed forces. As a result of the attack, it was announced that 100 Russian soldiers were neutralized. There was no clear information about the missing, because conflicts continue in the region. Experts stated that at least 100 Russian soldiers lost their lives. The successive losses caused major problems to erupt in Moscow. As I mentioned in our last video, ultra-Russian nationalists are very uncomfortable with the losses and react very harshly to Putin. The Moscow side, on the other hand, wants to cooperate with Belarus and Iran. However, if Russian army cannot find a solution to the problems of experienced soldiers and military equipment, it will continue to suffer great losses. In this process, as you know, Moscow made agreements with Tehran. It received a large number of Iranian-made drones. These unmanned aerial vehicles are not effective against the Ukrainian geography and advanced air defense systems. Therefore, Moscow made an absurd cooperation. Tehran and Moscow continue negotiations. We'll find out soon how to make a deal. On the other hand, shipments started between Belarus and Russia. Belarusian Border Command reported that 8 Russian Il-76's cargo planes arrived at Machulishchi Airport in the last 2 days. According to experts, Russian army wants to buy air defense systems and missile launchers from Belarus. It has been observed that the number of Russian soldiers on the northern front has increased considerably. Kiev continues to take precautions against attacks from the north. Ukrainian engineers began to erect fences on Belarusian border. The work will be completed in a short time. It was also stated that a large number of Ukrainian soldiers were deployed on the northern front. Continuing to send aid to Russia by Iran and Belarus increased tensions in the region. In addition, Iran continues to actively use its nuclear power plants, despite the warnings of Western countries. Iran says this nuclear power will be used as a precautionary measure. However, as it is known, Iran cooperates with many armed groups. This situation is quite dangerous. If Iran produces nuclear weapons, it will be a very dangerous situation for the surrounding countries, because Iranian-backed armed groups are not directly linked to Iran. If nuclear energy falls into the hands of these armed organizations, all the surrounding countries will be in great danger. For this reason, NATO, United States, European Union, and United States have warned Iran many times. Iran continues to supply weapons and ammunition to armed organizations in Syria and Iraq. In this way, it can constantly attack military bases in the region. The continuation of this situation and the continued operation of nuclear power plants prompted Israel to take action. In addition, Iran's continued sending aid to Russia in this process greatly increased the tension in the region. Russia and Iran continue to support armed groups in Syria and Iraq. Russian-Iranian cooperation continued before. However, these Iran-backed terrorist organizations are not wanted in the region by Western countries and Turkey as they destabilize the region. With the cooperation of Israel and Turkey, many operations against Iran-backed terrorist organizations were carried out in the region. Iran sees Israel as a direct enemy country. For this reason, Israel began to take many measures in the region. It also strengthened its borders in Turkey and launched simultaneous operations against Russian and Iranian-backed armed groups in Syria. According to the statements made in the morning, Israel carried out many attacks against Iran-backed terrorist organizations in the region. Russia is very uncomfortable with this situation, because Russia, which has lost power in the territory of Ukraine, cannot send support to the armed groups in Syria. Because of Putin's mistakes, Russia suffered a great defeat. Israel warned Iran for the last time in this process, but Tehran announced that its nuclear work would continue. According to the statements of Russian news sources, the Israeli Army's F-16 and F-35 warplanes have completed their operational preparations. Israel once again warned Tehran to cease operations of its nuclear facilities. Israel has openly declared that if the nuclear facilities are not shut down, the nuclear facilities in the region will be destroyed. Cooperation between Turkey and Israel continues. Both Iran and Russia have lost a lot of power in the region. Moscow and Tehran want to use nuclear weapons production as weapons. If this nuclear power falls into the hands of Iran-backed terrorist organizations in the region, a major disaster may occur in the region. Therefore, operations can start in a short time. The laws of the dictatorship regime and the statements made by Tehran caused massive protests to erupt in Iran. Internal turmoil in Tehran has been going on for 3 months. Iranian locals want the Tehran government to change completely. Because Iranians do not support Tehran's statements, Russia's loss of power in the region may cause the cessation of Iran's nuclear activities. Because Russia cooperated with Iran and acted together against Israel, the United States, and NATO. After this process, Israeli army can carry out its operations more comfortably. F-35 warplanes in Israeli Air Force are designed to carry out such operations. Israeli engineers not only enlarged the fuel tankers of the F-35 warplanes, but also prepared the F-35 warplanes for bombardment. For this reason, warplanes departing from Israel may return to Israel after destroying the nuclear facilities in the region. F-35 warplanes do not need to refuel in the region. In addition, Iran's air defense systems and radars cannot easily detect Israeli army's F-35 warplanes. Since the radar systems of Iranian army are quite old, air defense systems may not be able to directly stop the attacks. Old Iranian radars cause many accidents in Iranian airspace. Therefore, Tehran needs to make a deal and produce nuclear energy at a safe level. A change in Tehran's government could ensure the complete cleansing of Iran-backed terrorist organizations in the region. Tehran's continued sending of aid to Russia caused internal problems to explode. The war between Ukraine and Russia greatly increased tensions between neighboring countries. We have come to the end of another video. We will continue to convey the events that took place in the coming hours to you quickly and accurately. We continue to report the events objectively to you. You can like the videos to support us. You can also subscribe to the channel to make it easier to follow new videos. I wish you all happy days. See you.